Welcome to The Shiver Show. I'm your host, Mary Labrie, here with co-host Greg Flynn.
Good evening, Mary.
Greg, we're about to hear Kiss of Death. Does the title say all?
Oh, I rather hope so. I believe this is a 19th century gothic horror short story by Nathaniel Hawthorne that's been adapted for radio. So I'm looking forward to a tale that's rich in terror, romance, and melodrama.
Let's go.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. A young man named Giovanni Guasconti came very long ago from the more southern region of Italy to pursue his studies at the University of Padua. Giovanni, who had but a scant supply of gold ducats, took lodgings in a high and gloomy chamber of an old edifice of a family long since extinct. One of the ancestors of this family had been pictured by Dante as a partaker of the immortal agonies of his Inferno. So begins one of Nathaniel Hawthorne's finest short stories, which is a tale you're about to hear. Unforgettable, not alone as literature, but because it haunts and shocks to the root of the soul.
For some purpose, Giovanni, this man of science, Dr. Rappaccini, is making a study of you. I know that look of his. If you know him not, how should he know you?
Dr. Baglioni, I would only be surmising, and it is a subject I would rather not pursue.
Heed me carefully. I would stake my life that if you are not already one of Rappaccini's inhuman experiments, you are marked for it.
Our mystery drama, The Kiss of Death, was adapted from the Nathaniel Hawthorne classic short story, especially for the Mystery Theater, by Ian Martin, and stars Kurt Peterson and Patsy Bruder. Nathaniel Hawthorne described Giovanni as having a remarkable beauty of person, rather a Grecian than an Italian head, with fair, regular features and a glistening of gold among his ringlets. But the story he wove about him was as dark and menacing as his looks were light and open, and the terrible and tortuous fate which lurked in waiting for him was as exquisitely agonizing as any Dante contrived for his lost souls in the 7 rings of hell.
I did not catch your name, senor, as we boarded the coach.
Giovanni Guasconti.
Ah, and mine, Salvatore Pergamo. You are young for an occupation.
I am a student, sir.
And not from our Tuscany?
No, sir. From the south, Napoli.
Ah, how came you then to Venice?
By boat, all the way round the boot. There was no one of my family left, save only an uncle who died and left me a small estate to study with a friend of his in Padua.
Ah, you do not go then on to Verona?
No, sir. I must find a place to live with as few ducats as I possess, and then seek out my uncle's friend who teaches in the medical school.
Not by any chance Giacomo Rappaccini?
No, I do not know that name.
Ah, so much the better for you. It has a large reputation through Italy, but not of the best. Who is your sponsor?
Are you a medical man, Signor Pergamo? Un dottore?
By the faith, no. I am an exporter and importer of goods. It is in the course of the latter half of my business dealings I have run afoul of Dr. Rappaccini.
Run afoul?
I speak too freely to strangers. It is a fault of mine. I say only that Dr. Rappaccini has deep and strong interest in potent and very dangerous drugs, or rather in plants that produce them. You are a young man of open heart and seeming promise. I am glad you will not be associated with him. Did you tell me your sponsor's name?
No. It is Master Pietro Baglioni. doctor, professor at the university.
Where do you stay in Padua?
I have no idea.
Not with the Dottore Baglioni.
Oh, no. He was a friend of my uncle's, but only a distant acquaintance of the family. I would not have him beholden to me further.
Perbacco, I like you, boy. You have a good heart and an ease of manner that bespeaks you well. Here. There is in Padua an old nurse from our family who came into some property in a large house. Here is her address and a note from me. I am sure Dame Elisabetta Falcone will settle you comfortably and within your purse. Had I a son, I cannot think of quarters where you could be better or safer lodged.
Si, signor.
La Dama Elisabetta Falcone?
At your service. To whom have I the honor of speaking?
Giovanni Guasconti. I bear an introduction from an old friend, Signor Salvatore Pergamo.
Oh, il maestro. Oh, mio. Any friend of my little boy. Oh, come in, I beg you.
Thank you.
Prego. Oh, Salvatore. I was his nurse, you know. Oh, many years ago now. Tell me, how is he? In good health, happy?
In the most excellent health, I should say, judging by his girth.
Oh.
He gave me a letter for you, asking you forgive the script.
Oh, bless the master. He can never bear to remember that I, who brought him up, can neither read nor write. But his signature and seal, that I recognize. Signor, would you be good enough to read what the paper says? Here, let me bring the lantern nearer.
Why, it is simple enough. He says, Carissima, this will serve to introduce a young man of good family and great prospects, whose purse is not yet heavy and must find lodging while he attends the university. I could wish him no better fate than you may find room to take him in.
Oh, you could not come with a higher recommendation. Of course you shall stay here.
I followed her up the curving marble staircase. The ceilings and walls finished in great old frescoes, the paint now molding and peeling from the walls.
I have a few tradesmen who board on the lower floors, too damp and musty for the young maestro. I'm afraid you're not very taken with Padua.
I miss the sun. There is a chill here in the bones.
Or in the heart. You're homesick?
I have no home left. My parents, all my family, are dead.
Ah, then, that is enough to dim the sun for anyone. Ecco, signor.
Magnifico. But can I afford it?
Oh, no one else is young enough to climb the stairs. Ah, but you have seen nothing yet. Come to the window.
How beautiful. And how strange.
Ah, surely there is as bright a sunshine as you left in Naples.
Bright, though not so warm. But what a magnificent garden.
Is it not something? It's special.
Very. A botanical garden and so lovingly cared for. Does this belong to the house?
Oh, no, signor. No, it's from the villa next door.
Such strange exotic plants. The purples and the magentas. I don't recognize any of them.
No more than I. Observe the gigantic leaves, the huge, heavy blossoms. They're all imported, of course, for the great man who owns them. You see? Oh, that is he. You can see working at one of the beds, by the stone urn near the statue.
Surely that is no gardener in the scholar's garb of black?
Oh, bless us, no. He permits no one else but himself to come near his plants. That is Dr. Rappaccini himself.
Rappaccini?
Ah, even in Naples you've heard his name, eh?
No, not in Naples. More recently.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's famous all over Italy. And Europe and the world, for that matter. So, will the room suit you, do you think?
Admirably. But if it will suit my purse.
Oh, we shall arrange that when you join us for the evening meal. If you will be my guest.
Why, how kind.
Oh, thank me later, young gallant. You may have the more reason. Keep your eye on the garden. There is one flower that adorns it, more beautiful than any you have already seen.
The strange, eerie beauty of that garden below held me spellbound. I watched the tall, emaciated figure of the doctor tend his garden, so intent on his ministrations that he was oblivious to all else. Not an herb or a shrub escaped such a scientific and minute examination that it seemed as if he were looking into their innermost nature. And yet, he avoided inhaling their odors or actually touching them, and walked among them with a caution that suggested a man walking among malignant spirits. Obviously, he was not the one who cultivated them. I was just wondering who did when...
Beatrice! Beatrice!
Here I am, Father. Are you in the garden?
Yes, and I need your help.
I'll be down in a moment.
Now I knew what Dama Falcone had meant when she said I had yet to see the garden's most beautiful flower. For brief as the glimpse I had had of her, this was the most radiant, the most vibrantly alive woman I had ever seen in my life.
What is it, Father?
Our chief treasure. It needs more care than I dare offer in my shattered state. I'm afraid you must take it over as all the others.
Gladly. You know how I love them all. But this one... Oh, yes, I am talking to you, my sister. It shall be my task to serve you. And in return you shall reward me with your perfumed breath, which is the breath of life to me.
Never let her languish. She is my greatest triumph. And if truth be told, more than the breath of...
What is it, Father? Something wrong?
No, nothing wrong. Come, the hour grows late, and the night air is not kind to my chest these days.
Was the sickly, somehow menacing Dr. Rappaccini merely finished with his garden inspection? Or had he somehow spied me in the evening shadows of my lattice window? A bell sounding below took me away from my speculations, and I quickly descended to supper.
So, all is settled to your satisfaction, and you desire to take the room?
I already feel at home, if the agreed-on sum is enough.
Oh, more than enough.
I promise you I shall not be a roisterer. In fact, I anticipate spending a great deal of time in my room above that magic window.
I take it you have already seen its richest bloom.
Yes, just before supper. Signora Falcone, how can I gain an introduction to her? Do you...
Oh, the Rappacinis are far above my head. For all my villa is next door, they might live in another world. But surely the great gentleman at the university, Dr. Baglioni, to whom you bear a note of introduction, will know his fellow doctor.
Of course. I shall sleep on the hope of that. If indeed, after all that has happened to me today, allows me to sleep.
At your age, sleep comes easily and welcome.
When I awoke, I had overslept and was bone-weary from my travels and my new environment. But I was brought to immediate life by the sound of a voice already adored outside my window.
Father, must you leave so soon?
I have a lecture at the university. Is all well with you here?
Of course. I have been tending my sister. See how she lifts her head today since I've fed and nourished her.
All velvet and sheen and rich and glimmering like the most precious of stones. You breathe a new life on it.
As it does on me.
You are the richer by far.
If either of us are, what would we have without each other?
You are lonely, Bellissima.
For a little human companionship.
Quite right. I must provide you some. But how?
We could have a ball or a dinner party.
No. Not in this house. This house, no.
I know since Mother has gone you have become a recluse, but it is changing. It is time to think of me.
I know, and I promise I shall. But it is not a simple matter.
I can wait, but not too much longer.
I promise you, you shall not have to.
I felt guilty eavesdropping from my window, but my heart cried out to have Beatrice as my own, and somehow my mind cried out as loudly to forget her, to run, to leave while there was still time. Time for what? And then Suddenly, I realized what was so strange about the garden. All about me, outside it, in other trees, the birds twittered and swooped and lived their lives. But in the garden of my loved one, no bird lived, and no bird sang.
But when has any threatened danger held back a man in love? And what danger could lurk in a garden of luxuriant and healthy flowers and shrubs? That Giovanni is about to find out and refuse to believe until the ultimate truth is too undeniable. I shall return shortly with Act 2. There is an influence in the light of morning that tends to rectify whatever errors of fantasy or even of judgment we may have incurred during the sun's decline or in the less wholesome glow of moonlight. These are Mr. Hawthorne's words, and what better ones to project that by the following morning, after a good sleep, young Giovanni, looking out his window in the bright sun, found the garden below him a lovely place. It was time to present himself at the university and to meet his sponsor, Il Dottore Baglioni.
So, you wish to study medicine, hmm?
I wish to provide myself with a livelihood, since my patrimony will soon be exhausted.
Oh, frankly spoken again, I like you. I think we might make a doctor of you yet. Report to me tomorrow at the hour of 6 in the morning. Now, you say you are settled with somewhere to stay?
Yes, sir. At La Dama Falcone's house on the Via Eletto.
Is that near Il Dottore Rappaccini's house?
Yes, the very next villa. I have been given to understand he is a man of considerable renown.
Yes, the name is known.
I had gathered more than that. Even famous?
Rappaccini. A brilliant and amazing man. It is his theory that all medicinal virtues are comprised within those substances we call vegetable poisons. Human life means very little to him. Oh, now and then he achieves a miraculous cure, but in my private mind, these are more probably the work of chance.
Well, I must confess, I am only interested in Signor Rappaccini because of his daughter.
With at least half the young men in Padua, huh? Of whom few have ever seen her face. Nay, nephew of my old friend, in this I am of more hindrance than help. I am afraid an attempted introduction from me to my rival or his daughter would amount to the kiss of death. I beg you to stay away from Rappaccini and his wild obsessions. Too close an acquaintance with him might prove for you what I already jokingly termed myself the kiss of death.
I returned to my lodgings, and on an impulse, I bought a fresh bouquet of flowers from a florist I passed. Arriving home, I mounted breathlessly to my eyrie and was rewarded to see my enchantress engaged below in the garden. She was in the act of being about to pluck one of the strange exotic flowers from the special plant by the fountain, when, on an impulse, I cried out, "By your leave, Signorina?"
Who calls me?
Giovanni Guasconti, your servant and admirer. Do not pluck that flower.
And why not, pray, Signor Stranger?
Because I have here such fresh and lovely and healthful flowers as should adorn such beauty and grace. May I dare to toss them to you and ask you to wear them for my sake? Thus?
I thank you, good sir. You speak our language softly and in a different manner from what my ears are used to. Are you from some other land?
No. I am Italian, as you, but from the south.
You seem quite fair, unlike the other young men I have met.
I wish we could meet more formally.
And so do I.
If I were to call and present my compliments to your father?
No. That is not the way. Not yet. But perhaps sometimes we can talk like this. Only it's so far. I wish I could show you my garden.
I wish I could walk in it with you.
At least if we cannot yet, let me return your gift by throwing you one special flower.
I believe it too far for you to cast it.
Since I've already picked it, at least I can try. Ready?
Yes, as high as you can. Oh, I have it. Oh, no.
Don't fall.
It had to be one of us, so I let the blossom go. Try again.
Not for the world. I would not risk...
Richie!
In the garden, Father. I shall be in directly. If you should be in your room tomorrow afternoon...
I'm afraid I shall be at my studies at the university. But soon, I hope...
Richie! The night air is chill. Come in.
Coming? Yes, so do I hope. Soon. And thank you for my flowers. I will guard them and keep them well.
Was it some trick of imagination in the half-light after sundown? But as she turned and fled up the garden path, did my eyes deceive me that my lovely bouquet was already withering in her grasp? What nonsense. I tried to tell myself there was no possibility of distinguishing a faded flower from a fresh one at so great a distance. And my hand, where I had touched her flower, burned with a fever of longing. It was 3 days before I had returned to my full senses again, weak from loss of weight and the debilitating effect of some raging poison that had drained my system. I awakened to see Dama Falcone's kind and worried face hovering over my bed.
Ah, so we are awake at last and in our senses, eh?
Signora, what are you doing in my room?
Oh, what have I been doing the last 3 days under the Dottore Baglioni's orders but keeping cool compresses on your brow and feeding you gruel to keep body and soul together?
Have I been ill, then?
Oh, with such a raging of the blood that our good Dottore was worried about you till this morning.
What caused it?
Even he is not sure. There are infectious germs about this time of year. And after your long trip and the shock of losing your family, Dr. Baglioni thinks you fell prey to one of them.
3 days? What time is it? Afternoon?
Oh, it wants several hours of sunset yet. No, you must not sit up yet till the Dottore returns.
Oh, I just want to... Oh, I am weak. Can you see... In the garden, is the Signora Rappaccini there?
No one without business save the ducks have been abroad these days. It has rained as if it were time to start building a second ark. Oh, Dio, that will be the good Dottore back. I must go down and let him in.
As soon as she had left the room, I found my way weakly to the window. A gray curtain of rain blurred the empty garden below. I staggered back to my bed, my feet unsteady, my brain reeling. Had I really tossed a bouquet of flowers to Beatrice? And did I remember catching but letting fall the blossoms from the garden she threw me in exchange? Then I blacked out again. Not to come to till I found Dr. Baglioni examining me.
Well. A fine way to start out learning to be a doctor, my young friend, huh? Will it make you a better physician to begin as a patient?
I don't know, sir.
Well, not if you start out a dead one. But it seems you will recover.
What has ailed me?
Some unique humor of the blood. Thanks be to God you responded well when I bled you. You should be on your feet very soon.
When? How soon?
Oh, within the week, no doubt, with one as young and as vital as you. Meanwhile, rest and eat well. The good Dama Elisabetta will see that you are fed to regain the weight you have lost.
How can I thank you enough for your aid and comfort? It is good to have a friend in a strange city.
More than one. Surprisingly, someone else today inquired as to your well-being with what appeared to be great personal interest.
Who?
Dr. Rappaccini.
What?
I was not aware that you had made his acquaintance.
Nor have I.
Well, that is welcome news. For if you will follow my advice, you will have as little to do as possible with him.
Why do you say that?
For some purpose, this man of science is making a study of you. I know that look of his. I have seen that cold illumination as he bends over a bird, a mouse, a butterfly, which, in pursuit of some experiment, he has killed by the perfume of a flower. Now, if you know him not, how should he know you?
I would only be surmising, and it is a subject I would rather not pursue.
And an acquaintance you had better not either. For, heed me carefully, Signor Giovanni, I would stake my life that if you are not already one of Rappaccini's inhuman experiments, you are marked for it.
By the next morning, as I awoke refreshed and feeling myself...
Buongiorno, Signor Guasconti.
Buongiorno, Dama Falcone.
Oh, out of bed, naughty boy. I bring you your breakfast to eat in bed.
Oh, I have it here by the window.
Now, you must eat everything and not allow the attention to wander.
Oh, I will eat. I am famished.
Oh, for food or for a sight of Rappaccini's daughter?
I suppose nothing escapes that sharp eye of yours, Mother Falcone.
Not much. Or my ear. Oh, I think I could have told that doctor what ailed you better than he.
What?
I heard you and the signorina talking from the window. I think you are taken with a disease of the heart, no?
Beatrice. Yes, but it is hopeless, I'm afraid. If only I could meet and walk with her in the garden.
Well, there is a private entrance into the garden from the street.
A private entrance to Dr. Rappaccini's garden?
Shh, not so loud. Almost any young man in Padua would sell his soul or his birthright to be admitted among those flowers.
You may have what little I have if you will show me the way.
Oh, Tosh, I want nothing from you. No, I have been well paid already. And here is the key. I give it to you in return for one thing only.
What? Name it.
You are pale as a ghost and thin as a rail. Manja, signor, so you don't scare the girl half to death.
I ate like a lion, dressed in my very best. My blessed guide, Signora Falcone, led me along several obscure passages. Then, suddenly, we were at the door. I thanked her, turned the key easily in the lock, which must have been oiled. I was in Dr. Rappaccini's garden, practically under my own window.
Welcome, Signor.
You were not surprised to see me?
A connoisseur of flowers such as yourself. After the lovely bouquet you tossed me 4 days ago, it is no marvel that my father's rare collection has tempted you to take a nearer view.
Was it you who sent this key?
Why, no.
Well, then who?
I know not. But does it matter? You are here. Come, I will show you our garden.
If fame speaks true, you are as deeply skilled in these rich blossoms and spicy perfumes as your father.
No. Although I have grown up among these flowers, I know no more of them than their hues and their perfumes. Believe me.
Oh, there is the flower you tried to toss me by my window.
May the good Lord be blessed you failed to grasp it.
Why? I wanted it very much for a keepsake. Methinks you owe me one. I shall pick it for myself.
Oh, no! Touch it not. Not for your very life. It would kill you.
Hiding her face, Beatrice rushes from him into the house, and his eyes following her, behold within the shadow of the entrance the emaciated, ominous figure of the black-clad Dr. Rappaccini. Bewildered and shaken by his strange encounter with the girl he loves, Giovanni has stumbled back to his room, suddenly overcome with the debility of his 3-day illness, so faint that he is barely able to climb the stairs to his room. Once there, however, no matter how much his fever-weakened body longs for the bed, instinct or some deeper drive forces him to the window.
But how could you have given him the key to visit me if you knew there was danger for him?
No danger now, my little one.
But to think that thoughtlessly, the other day I tossed a blossom from this to him. Had he caught it, what would have happened to him?
He would have died.
Oh, sweet Mary, forgive me.
You were innocent, my love.
It would have been but small help to him. Oh, Papa, how can I let him continue to come, even supposing he ever wants to again?
Come inside, daughter. This is no place to talk. We may be overheard if he is back in his room.
If we are, then I say this. I know he loves me as I love him. But for his sake, I think it would be better he stayed away from me.
No. I have not long to live. And it is time for you to meet with someone. Let me explain just how this may be accomplished in spite of all. I have been studying on this for a long time, and I have come to a conclusion.
Behind the drape on my window, I had listened to this conversation between Beatrice and her father. Now, as I watched them disappear into the house, I looked down on that fateful, hideous flower that my beloved could fondle and kiss with no harm. Could it be so deadly? The answer was vouchsafed immediately. Crawling across one of the statues was a small chameleon, which in its passage had accidentally brushed against a tendril from the strange shrub. In a second, from the touch of that tendril, the lizard contorted itself in one writhing spasm, and then, as if eaten by invisible fire, crackled like a moth in a candle flame and was gone. I could think no more. I threw myself on the bed and mercifully passed into darkness.
Good morning, my young friend.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Baglioni.
So, what is this that La Dama Falcone has been telling me about you having a relapse and other things?
Such as?
That you have not only talked several times with La Signorina Rappaccini, but that you have also gained access to the garden and met her there.
Yes, Signor. That is true.
I look at you, and physically you appear to have made a remarkable recovery. This morning, you literally glow with health.
It is true. I feel rested and full of life.
I'm forced to conclude that perhaps this strange distemper that attacked you is less of the mind than perhaps of the heart.
You're right, Doctor. Completely right. I am in love with Beatrice Rappaccini.
I feared as much.
With no estate or name and with no prospects but a long term of study before me, you consider my suit as hopeless as
I consider it hopeless for deeper reasons. I think you must have some suspicions of the truth already. Very well. I've been too late to stop Rappaccini's experiment with his daughter, but at least I can try to stop him from whatever new experiment he plans for you.
For me? What interest could he have in me? I haven't even met the man.
Or where do you think the key came from that admitted you to the garden?
Beatrice. Who else?
From Rappaccini. Ask the Dama Falcone if you don't believe me. It was placed in her hands by the doctor himself, along with a golden ducat to make sure she brought it to you.
But why? I don't understand.
Who can penetrate the clouded workings of this tortured mind? A man who would sacrifice his own daughter to his own obsession.
Is there nothing we can do for her? I would gladly give my life.
Let us not be too hasty. There may be a way to outwit Rappaccini yet.
How?
You see this little silver flask? It was wrought by the hands of the great Cellini.
It must be priceless.
Yes. But most of all, because of what it contains. One sip of the antidote in it would render all the poisons of the Borgias innocuous. Bestow it on your Beatrice, and we will thwart Rappaccini yet.
Once my dear old friend had left, I hastened to dress, my heart buoyed with the hope that the silver flask would make all well. And then came the ultimate blow. A small bird had crashed against the pane of my open window and dropped to the ledge. I went to the poor little creature, lifting it and finding it still alive and only momentarily stunned. Soothingly, I brought it to my lips, touching them to its head, about to make a sound of reassurance. But to my horror, like the chameleon in the garden the day before, the touch of my lips galvanized it into one agonizing spasm, and then it dissolved into nothingness in my hands. At the same moment, the voice of Beatrice called me from the garden.
Giovanni! Giovanni, are you there?
What do you want of me now, accursed poisonous witch?
Oh, no! Come down to the garden. Let me try to explain.
No need for explanations anymore. I am the only being your breath cannot slay. Your kiss may never kill. I stumbled from my room for the door and for the garden. I was a mass of conflicting emotions. Love, hate, despair, and murderous fury as I faced Beatrice in that deadly garden. How can you pretend ignorance? Shall I prove the power I have gained from the pure daughter of Rappaccini?
No proof is necessary.
So you admit you have cast your poisonous spell on me. You saw what happened to the bird on the window?
I saw, but it is not me. Believe me, it is my father's fatal science.
How could you have not known?
How could I have known? Locked up a prisoner all these years in this garden. My only companions, my father and the flowers. Particularly this evil thing of beauty that I pretended was a sister, because I had no human being to share my love and friendship with.
You must have known. You had to know. Yesterday, when I reached for the blossom on this venomous vine, you cried out, "Touch it not, it will kill you."
I did cry that out.
And yet, a few days earlier, when I brought you flowers, you tossed the same blossom to me at my window. Luckily that it only grazed my fingers, for that touch alone was enough to put me in a flush, a fever that nearly killed me.
I knew nothing of that.
Where did you think I was? If I had been myself, for all the love I had in my heart for you, don't you think I would have been daily at your window?
I thought you were at the university studying as you told me you would be.
Of course. All innocence. And having failed to dispatch me from a distance, you had to provide me entry to the garden to make sure to... Oh, dear. Forgive me. I don't know what I'm saying. It was you who saved my life.
A life that, believe me, I never had dreamed stood in any danger from me or mine. Your life was the most precious thing in the world to me, and because of it, I had to drive you from me.
Why? I was in no danger.
Don't you see? I knew nothing till after my father had given you the key. Even then, the one thing he told me was that you must not touch this flower upon pain of death. I was so lonely for you. I loved you so. I wanted only to spend a little time alone with you. I had forgot the flower when you were near, and all the world seemed lovely. Before I knew that I was something hateful and poisonous, sister to that deadly flower.
Where did it come from?
My father created it.
Created it?
He knows all the vile secrets of nature. At the very hour when I first drew breath, this plant sprung from the soil, the offspring of his science, his intellect, while I was only his earthly child. But I grew up and was nourished by it. I thought of it as my sister, not as my doom.
Not only yours, but mine. Look!
No! Giovanni!
You see, I picked the flower, and it is as harmless to me now as you.
I have put my curse on what I love best.
No curse, my daughter.
Dr. Rappaccini.
No curse. You made us both unclean.
Unclean? Look at you. one step below gods, both of you, and I created you. Feel the power that courses through your veins, the magic gift my arts have brought you. You could quell the mightiest enemy with a breath, shrivel the most monstrous onslaught against you with a touch. What more could you ask than to be as near immortal as man or woman may reach?
I would have chosen to be loved, not feared. I am condemned forever to what I am.
Our fate is not so desperate, thanks to my friend, Dr. Baglioni.
Baglioni, that bumbling bigot.
In this flask, Beatrice, is an antidote distilled of blessed herbs which can purify us.
Then let us drink.
No! I warn you. Drink of that flask, and it can bring you only death. So powerful as the poisons you have thrived on, as powerful is that antidote. No human body could stand the conflict.
Don't listen to him, Beatrice. Drink, and I will follow.
Stop! I will not let you destroy my triumphs. I will shoot you first.
He has a pistol. You will have to shoot me first, Father.
If death is to be our portion, then let it be for all evil.
What are you doing?
Uprooting forever this venomous vine. Take it to your own bosom, where it belongs.
I am undone.
Oh, I did not mean to cause his death. I thought he was immune.
No. My father was immune to nothing except love. Heaven forgive him. He is better off dead. Now, quick, let us drink.
It may mean death. You heard Dr. Rappaccini.
I will not live as I am.
Nor I.
Then give it to me. I shall drink first.
No. I shall pour half in the cap of the flask. The flask is for you.
To the future, Giovanni.
To our future, whatever it may be.
What future did these lovers find? Were they star-crossed as Romeo and Juliet? Or did the gods smile on them like Elizabeth and Robert Browning? Well, what does it matter, after all, if they were together? A good story doesn't always need an end. At least none beyond that the listener chooses to select, believe for himself. Do I hear some murmurs of dissatisfaction with the ending? Then let us make a confession. The story, as you have heard it, does not end exactly as Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote it. If you must have an ending to this dark tale, you can read his solution. We can only say we thought poor Beatrice and her unlucky lover Giovanni deserved a better fate, dead or alive. And we left it to you to choose. Our cast included Kirk Peterson, Patsy Bruder, Arnold Moss, Bryna Rayburn, and Gilbert Mack. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Greg, Kiss of Death, a CBS Radio Mystery Theater production. What did you think?
Whoa, Mary. That ending. Totally unfair. I don't know about you, but I wanted to know what happened to those star-crossed lovers. We were left hanging.
Well, we were left hanging, but at least we got to see the demise of Dr. Rappaccini.
Yeah, what an evil blighter he was.
A menacing gardener. I suppose he was a botanist, but he was not our favorite person in this production. Greg, I did like the fact that this took place in Italy, and it was Padua. Have you been to Padua?
I have indeed. There's a university there. I'm still there, as they point out. And when's this? This is the 1844, I believe, Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote his short story.
Yeah. So we've got, a somewhat exotic location, and the wonderful Giovanni coming to attend the university and get swept up in what's going on with the neighbors next door, Greg.
Yes. We've got the drop dead good looking Giovanni and the literally drop dead good looking Beatrice.
Yes, which we have to say in the Italian way, which is Beatrice.
Is it? Oh, well, sorry, Beatrice does sound a little bit dull.
You have to practice this with me, Greg. So it's
okay. Here we go.
Beatrice.
Beatrice. Get away. And so, you've raised a very good point, Mary, because I had a note down here that most of the actors have got that stage Italian accent. So let's say that they're not necessarily Italian born. Most of them I looked up, I don't think they were born in probably, New Jersey or somewhere. Nevertheless, there's the way they pronounce the character's name. So Rappaccini isn't pronounced Rappaccini, it's pronounced Rappaccini, like a TV commercial for pasta sauce.
I mean, they had a go. I think they had a good attempt at making this feel like it was taking place in Italy for a North American audience, admittedly. But you have to say the CBS Radio Mystery Theater, their productions are fabulous. I mean, fabulous sort of narration by the host, E.G. Marshall, always, this somewhat laconic person who's just used to horrible things happening in every show.
Yes. He's one jaded host. But you're right. No, I do like E.G. Marshall. And what I really liked at the end, I couldn't believe it, when he said, do I hear any complaints about the ending, which was a terrific line. I think it's the first time I've ever heard that in a radio thing, but where he's trying to justify the scriptwriter's changing of the ending.
Yes. So did you check out the ending of the story?
So delighted you asked me, Mary. I went online and I read the original short story, and the ending is a little clearer. No, it's not cheerful, by the way. So if you please turn down the knob on your radios if you don't want to hear what actually happened. But what actually happened is that Beatrice, and I'm going to keep pronouncing it like that, Beatrice takes the antidote. She dies. Giovanni takes the antidote, and he doesn't die. So, and she slumps to the ground. And it turns out, of course, that of course, the evil father, he does die. There's a lot of body. That garden is knee deep in bodies, frizzled.
Yes, sizzled. I mean, I made that note. I said, holy sizzling chameleons here, because that's the first thing that gets zapped. Yes, the body count is reasonable by the end, and the star-crossed lovers do not have a happy ending. They don't get to be together. But I just coming back to this production. So I've just, because we've listened to so many of these, it's formulaic, but it's still really wonderful. So CBS Radio Mystery Theater always does a bit of narration, a snippet of dialogue from the actual story, and then E.G. Marshall comes in, and then there's the wonderful creepy music, and then you get to the main play. Have you noticed that they have that formula?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, I think it's because this is made in the mid-'70s, and they'd moved on from that 1940s more straightforward approach. The intro from the voiceover guy, and then straight into the storyline. This one's a little more nuanced.
Yeah. So we've got some really cool story elements in this too. Like, I really liked the sort of what I wrote the note, reverse Juliet balcony scene, where Giovanni's on the balcony and she's down in the garden, right? The first time they chat, and there's some flower tossing going on.
You wouldn't want to catch that red rose.
Yeah, but I thought that was a nice sort of nod to Shakespeare potentially. And then we have these strange plants that cause the whatever living thing touches them to kind of sizzle on the spot.
What I doubly liked about this, and I'm certain there's no actual connection, but I reread last year Ian Fleming's James Bond novel You Only Live Twice, which was written in the 50s. But there's a very, very similar Garden of Death that's been created by the head of Spectre, the evil criminal mastermind Ernst Stavro Blofeld, and the equally evil Irma Bunt, and they've built this Garden of Death, replete with poisonous plants, and people come to the grounds to kill themselves. Nevertheless, same idea. Garden of Death, those plants.
Yeah, that's interesting. The thing with this is it's a fairly linear plot, I suppose. In that, and I guess, did you understand why it was that Beatrice died, but Giovanni didn't?
Well, I'm guessing that she was basically full of poison, not because of her father's doing, and so she wasn't human-like. So the antidote was designed for a human who got poisoned, rather than somebody whose body was literally poisoned. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I think she had the poison had actually become sort of part of her metabolism. And so the antidote actually didn't work on her and in fact killed her.
Yes, I think you're bang on there. I think that was the idea. But you're our sound effects experts, and I've got to say that I don't know if you've seen the new movie Wuthering Heights with those windy moors. Well, they're nothing in comparison to that Padua garden. That's the windiest garden in the world.
Yes, and I've been to Padua, as you have. The weather's actually quite lovely there, even in the winter. And the other comment I would make too, Greg, is, they seem to overuse the wind sound effect in this. And I also thought there was a rainstorm, if you recall, and that rain just did not sound like rain.
Didn't it? Oh, it was so harsh. What about right at the beginning though? They're riding in a carriage, a horse-drawn carriage, and I thought that was quite nice.
Yes,
clippity clop, creak creak.
Yeah. Most of the sound effects were excellent, but weather is, I think, tricky. I'm not sure how they achieved it, but rain in particular, if it's not done well, just sounds like static almost.
Now, on the subject of the original author, Nathaniel Hawthorne, I had to remind myself. He sounded vaguely familiar. So I looked him up, and he wrote a novel called The Scarlet Letter, about an adulteress who, in the strict Puritan community, because she was an adulteress, she had to have the scarlet letter A on her dress, on her chest. Now, just to trivialize that ghastly moment in history when people possibly did this, I also remember that Alvin, the singing chipmunk, had an A on his chest.
Ah.
Remember Alvin and the Chipmunks? Yes. Yeah.
Do you think there's a connection? Do you think, Alvin was a bit of a player?
I wouldn't like to draw a conclusion, but I think that's quite obvious. You don't get to be a pop singer and not have some side benefits.
Well, so the original, I think it's a short story. It was called Rappaccini's Daughter. So I was trying to find the story, The Kiss of Death, by this author, Nathaniel Hawthorne, and I couldn't find it. And that's the reason. So the name of the story is actually Rappaccini's Daughter.
It is, yes. So exactly. I went down, down that internet rabbit hole looking for The Kiss of Death, couldn't find it, and then eventually stumbled upon the original story, Rappaccini's Daughter, which, to the credit of the scriptwriter for this radio play, Ian Martin, he didn't change a lot of the plot. He may have fiddled with the ending a bit, And he modernized the dialogue, which I think is fair enough, particularly for a radio audience like this. It made it a little clearer. For example, in the original version, Beatrice's final words are, "I would fain have been loved, not feared," before she sinks to the ground. Fain meaning pleased or willing. And he changed that to, "I would have chosen to be loved, not feared," which is fine. I said right at the top of the show that I described it, because I hadn't actually heard the show before, which was that it was a gothic horror. But I think this is more fantasy. Is it? I don't, the difference between horror and, it had horrific elements, but it was more like a fantasy.
I think it's an interesting discussion, and something like Game of Thrones is fantasy because it has dragons.
No, I think you're correct in this case. I stand corrected, because there were no fantastical, if I can put it like that, elements. There were no fairies or dragons in the garden.
No, and poisonous flowers. It is within the realm of possibility that something could be so toxic that it literally causes something to, sizzle up. Yes. I think, in fact, there are some poisons that do that when they're ingested. So, yeah, I think it was kind of realistic. Realistic maybe, but not fantasy. I wouldn't call it fantasy.
Right. Okay. I stand corrected, Mary. I'm happy. I'm just happy to learn at your feet.
It's often debated. So no, it's a good one. I liked this too because it had there was a reference to the Borgia. Is it Borgias?
Yeah, Borgia. Yeah, the Borgias. Yes.
And so I looked up about women and poisoning, Greg. Women were considered to be more likely to poison, but apparently that's just not the case.
Isn't it? No, I'd heard that with modern dramas. Well, perhaps it's actually just the dramas rather than the actual in reality.
Exactly. It's a narrative device. It's a writer's device, and a bit of misogyny thrown in for good measure. But apparently murders are overwhelmingly committed by men, and when you take all the poisonings that take place, the women don't stack up. The men are still overwhelmingly more likely to kill by any method, weapon or poison.
Yes, and no, I'm not actually wearing a ring at the moment, but I could see myself in one of those Borgia type rings, where you flip up the ring, and inside there's a little ground something or other.
It's a terrible thing, isn't it? So I thought this was really an enjoyable drama. CBS Radio Mystery Theater, I've got to say, they always do a beautiful job on the production side. And I thought the voice actors were also wonderful.
Well, the only one I recognized was Arnold Moss. He was Professor Baglioni. I think that was Arnold Moss.
Yes.
Because the other two, there's Kirk Peterson, who I believe played Giovanni, and Patsy Bruder, who played, and I'll say it again, Beatrice. Patsy we've heard before. She ended up probably promoted to a TV soap opera called As the World Turns. But Kirk Peterson, apparently now I may be wrong, so you can correct me here, but was he a ballet dancer as well?
I don't know about that. I think we just have to accept that.
Well, who knows? However, something I do know, because I'm an E.G. Marshall fan, there's a piece of trivia for you. In the movie Superman 2 with Christopher Reeve, E.G. Marshall played the President of the United States.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mean, he had a extensive career. So, Greg, any final thoughts on Kiss of Death?
Mary, now, recently, at the end of a couple of these shows, one show, you shot me and I died, right? Another one, you poisoned me with instant coffee and I died, a lot of slumping to the ground. But this time, as you know, I do like pottering around with pot plants, and I've got a bunch of Finn's herbs here for you, Mary. Parsley, chives, tarragon and chervil. A little present for you, Mary, a little present. Go on, try them.
Thank you, Greg. I'll just toss up a salad right now.
Oh, nothing. You'll love them, Mary. Ha ha ha.
Good night, Greg.
Good night, Mary.
Well, it's good that I got killed for once.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's only fair. That's our show for tonight. Thank you for shivering with us.